Hey guys, welcome to today's video. This is going to be the first of a series of 18, hopefully. I just want to cover something to look at for each team in the upcoming 2025 national draft. So starting off, we've got Adelaide. I just want to go through what we've got in front of us and how the draft can play out for Adelaide, at least up to about the first 20, 30 picks, because we start going a bit skew with and off course when a lot of basically players I don't know much about start getting drafted, and it gets a bit hairy. So I just want to go through the first half for you effectively. So Adelaide up here, I've got Adelaide's draft hands. I can actually bring up a bit better of a view. I've got Adelaide's draft hand here that they go into this draft with. They've got all of their 2026 future picks apart from their fourth, and they've got for all their 2027. If they wanted to use them to move up the board, they can do that. I've also got Adelaide's draft hand here. Up here, you'll notice that a couple of the numbers are in green. Now, this green here indicates that they're only really expected to take two players in this draft. I've got my notes here to the side of the screen. What's happened in the off-season is Adelaide have they've delisted or had players retire. They've had 8 losses off their club list. They are Chris Burgess, Carl Gallagher, Lachlan Murphy, Harry Schoenberg, Brodie Smith, Matt Crouch, Kieran Strawn, and Tyler Welsh. Okay, so you've got 8 losses off your list right off the bat, and they brought in 2 players. That's Indy Cotton and Finbar Maley. Okay, he's from North, big forward, probably looking at replacing Tex Walker eventually down the road potentially. Okay, so 2 ins, 8 outs. So you're looking at 6 available list spots. One of those list spots is earmarked for Cal Archie. So you're down to 5. 5, sorry. And they've also committed publicly to bringing back in Tyler Welsh. He was brought in the mid-season draft. So you're down to 4. Okay, so the reason we've got 2, I respect to Journo Kaltwami from the AFL.com. He published an article indicating he thinks there'll be 2. So that'll leave 2 extra remaining spots after all the drafts for the preseason supplemental period, rookie drafts, and play-on players. So 2 spots for that. 2 spots for this draft. Every other spot on the list is already gone. Okay, so now Adelaide's first pick in this draft is pick 16. All right, so you can see it here just behind Gold Coast. Now, unfortunately, with Adelaide, they're behind quite a few teams that will end up jumping the queue due to matching bids under the father-son rule and the next-gen academy rule. I would say that Adelaide are probably worse affected out of pretty much every team in this regard, because their pick doesn't really move and everyone just jumps up in front of them. I've got a loaded draft, that a reasonable expectation of what Adelaide can expect for their when their pick rolls around. I'll just load that up for you. So this is the draft I've gone with. Eagles taking Dersma, Zeke Hewland gets a matching bid. To jump that queue, they've used pick 15, 18, and 24. So you won't see those picks here. They're actually been burnt. Okay, so and we've basically gone down the list until we get to Adelaide's pick at pick 17. So these are players that we think are around the mark. These particular teams could look at all these players. Okay, so basically on the clock, the players that I would expect at pick 17, assuming that all these bids and everything go through in the top 10 like we expect them to do. We expect all these other clubs to make the tied teams to pay up. Okay, so these are the players. You could probably take any of these top 4 or so. They might be available to Adelaide, and then I've kind of listed these players as like the most estimated. I've got an estimated draft range, and these guys are like the ones that have left over effectively. So I could give you guys a bit of an idea as to the South Australian players that might be available, which Adelaide might want to go down that road, keep them in their home state, keep them happy, and it'll just be a lot easier to retain in the future. You got Mitch Marsh, Jevon Filippo, Thread Gold, Harley Barker. Okay, these are a lot of players. I think a Mitch Marsh could complement what they've got up forward, especially if Tex Walker's going to go out. Obviously, they got Maley from North who might take that role. So there's that. They might want a bit of speed with Filippo. I just want to give you guys an idea of the player pool that an Adelaide fan can properly expect when their pick rolls around. Okay. Now, another scenario I wanted to show you was if we go to the trade simulator, a lot of trades that people are thinking is that Adelaide can trade up with Carlton. Okay. Just to jump up the queue, because Carlton are not really going to use these picks. They've got 2 picks in the top 11. As it sits now, they will both end up getting burnt for the best key defender in the draft, which is Harry Dean. He's tied to Carlton. So Adelaide, to jump the queue, are looking at trading pick 16 for pick 9, but to get that deal over the line, a future first. And pretty much that doesn't lose Carlton too many points. I know a lot of Adelaide fans would be saying, "Nup, throw in number 11 as well." That is far too many points for Carlton to ever really consider, because they're not going to be able to match Harry Dean. You can see their hand up here. Their picks that are of any true value are 9 and 11. They need to get something back just to keep their points threshold high enough to match Harry Dean. They've also got a second academy player, Ison, that they want to try and get into the coop as well. As you can see, pick 43, the points really drop off. They're looking at 184 points compared to thousands up the top here. Okay, so 9 for a 16 and a future first would get that over the line. Carlton, remember, are trying to accumulate future picks. They've already got a second future first rounder from Sydney, but if they get yours as well from Adelaide, they've got a good hand to match any bid for. They've got a pretty handy father-son coming next year who's looking like he's going to be a top 2, top 3 player at worst, likely top 1. Cody Walker. So a big priority for them is going to be trying to accumulate first rounders. So let's just execute that trade. I've actually loaded up a reasonable draft. I want to show where that ends up. Okay, so I've just to save a bit of time so you're not wasting your time here, we'll just load it. Adelaide trade for pick 9. Okay. This is the same expected draft I expect to happen. You can see I've executed the trade down here. Pick 16 for pick 9 and that future first. By the time, under a normal draft situation, by the time that pick rolls around, as I said, Adelaide are just getting shafted with these bids. That pick 9 is now pick 13. So Adelaide need to ask themselves, are they willing to give up their future first rounder just to move up 4 slots? If I was Adelaide, I would say that's not really worth it. You obviously had a very good year this year, winning the minor premiership. You'd expect you guys to be top 4 again. It's obviously you can't tell, and there's a good chance you might fall off if you get hit with injuries. So, yeah, if I was a list manager at Adelaide, I'd be going, I don't think a first rounder is worth moving up 4 slots. Okay, so if you did, you could get Schubert. But a lot of these players are still. Ollie Greaves might not be available if you were to wait to pick 17. Doverston's another one. He's the best small forward in the draft class. But yeah, I've just seen a bit of chatter online that they want to trade a future first. It definitely helps Carlton. But with all these bids pushing you guys back, especially that pick 9 becomes pick 13. So it's just something to be aware of. I can play it out for you. Just to show you, let's reset it all. Pick 16, that's first, and pick 9, execute trade. Okay, so let's start our draft. Eagles are taking Dersma, and we'll just go through it. Newland are going to get matched by Gold Coast using these picks, and they'll end up getting a compo pick in the 40s. We'll go through it. Just a normal kind of expected draft. Obviously, there's no pure science to this. There's 18 different teams making different decisions. We'll go through. I just want to show you it is pick 13. Xavier Taylor coming, and we'll go. Let's go Dyson Sharp to Essendon. Schubert, they want a big forward at Melbourne. Grill slipped a bit. There you are. It's pick 13. So you're only going in 4 slots. It's just something to be aware of. As for pick 48, we'll go back to the regular draft. If you weren't to trade that, Adelaide's reasonable expectation 1. Your second pick, with all these burnt picks, has already moved up from pick 48 to 43. So that's the kind of range you can expect. I don't think there's really too many other options to trade up. As you can see here in this box, these are the amount of list spots that everyone else is expected to take. So to bundle up 43 and 50, you want someone with, say, 5 picks open, enough for a trade to really, and you'd only really jump up to the high 30s maybe. So Gold Coast are expected to take a few, but a lot of those are academy tied. Collingwood have also got a few list spots. That might be an option, potentially 39, 34. If we go to the trade simulator, you might be able to bump that up to 39, 34. You can have a look. So let's go 43 to 50. You're gaining a bit if you take 34 off Collingwood, so they're probably not going to do that, but that's a pretty even trade as far as the points index goes, 39. Collingwood move back 4 slots, and they gain an extra pick, so they're only starting picking in the top 4, so that'll actually be of worth to them. It'll bump just in front of that 50, and it pushes 56 out to a non-usable pick. So that is a trade that Adelaide could explore. It gets you pick 17 and 39. Another thing to consider is there will be a couple of burnt picks by that point. Actually, no, they won't. I misspoke there. 44 is the earliest burn pick I can see. So that's just a reasonable expectation of how you think how Adelaide can be affected by the draft. So I'm hoping to do one of these for each team, and I want to go through various trades and situations that I've come across over the last week or two. If you've got any questions or if you've got any other situations you'd like to throw at me, please get in contact. Just like, comment. If you could subscribe to the channel, that'd be great. I'm trying to get this off the ground. And we can explain just a bit further, because what the whole purpose of this app and this channel is, I want to just see all the list managers squeeze the life and get every drop of juice out of their draft hand effectively. So that's something I could see Adelaide doing. I'm going to try to do the rest for the rest of the clubs, and stay tuned for the rest of the series. Thank you very much. Have a nice day. I'll see you on the next one.